Alright lads, this is Fenner, a GM Zerg from professional Australian gaming team Frenetic Array. Recently on ladder at the GM level there has been a massive increase in people going blind Nexus first. Most likely due to parting, since most of the time that it's blind Nexus first they usually go for a Sentry Immortal all-in. This got me thinking about how to abuse it. I don't really want a 7 pull even though it is a viable option. I think if the Protoss controls their probes well then they get themselves in a good position, since with blind Nexus first, they build their first pile in the main, allowing them to fall back on that if needed. I remember a long time ago, just after SC2 release, there was a lot of research done on Zerg openers for the best economy, and there was the 11 pull, but it never really caught on. I like to do my own research, so today I've been testing to see how good an 11 pull can keep up in a macro game. The results are actually fairly surprising. First thing to note is that it gives you the opportunity to build early lings, but you don't have to. It works out perfectly in this situation because standard probe scout timing reaches your base around 1:30, so if you don't see the scout by that timing then you can assume it's a blind Nexus first and build 6 lings, which will give you a massive advantage, since you will either get the lings in the main, force a crazy wall off, or force them to pull probes to block. If you do see the scout by that timing, then you can just drone like a boss. So how does it compare in macro? Since the whole point of this is that I didn't want to coin flip with 7 pull and have the opportunity to play in a macro game, well, it compares pretty fucking well. In fact, it is so close to standard 15 pull 16 hatch that it makes me not want to go 15 pull anymore. 11 pull would screw with their heads so much more and possibly cause them to make mistakes. And not only that, they kind of have to play safer when they scout it, and if they don't scout it then you get a ridiculous advantage. Let me show you the in-game tests I ran. I'm going to look at the 7-minute mark because around 6 minutes to 7 minutes is pretty much the earliest time you would ever need to start building units against a Protoss fast expand, which would be defending against a 6 to 8 gate or a +1 4 gate pressure. First up, the 15 pull. At 7 minutes it has 62 supply, lair just started and 5 drones on the way too. Now let's jump straight over to the 11 pull. At 7 minutes we have 62 supply, no lair but around 64 gas, and 10 drones on the way, so it's very slightly behind. Let's find out how much behind by seeing when the lair starts and when there are only 5 drones left on the way. At 7:10 there is enough gas to start lair and there are 5 drones on the way, which is what the 15 pull was at. So at this timing 11 pull is about 10 seconds behind. However, applied slightly better, it could probably make up a few seconds. I've had countless games of practicing opening 15 pull macro, and this was my first time with the 11 pull macro. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's definitely worth it to open 11 pull in ZVP. It will screw over those greedy blind Nexus first openings, and because it's not a common build in the current metagame, will also confuse people and maybe force some mistakes. They will also have to wall off quicker even with a scout build, which could set them back further than it sets you back compared to 15 pull. I'm not sure on this though. I'll be trying this out over the next few days and I have a feeling it's going to go very well. I also ran some tests in SC Fusion, which gave much closer results, making me think that 11 pull is a very strong opener in ZVP. SC Fusion shows only a 1 second difference between the two builds, with the goal of getting up to 60 drones. Thanks for watching guys, go enjoy some 11 pull action. Peace yo. It's much stronger and less volatile for himself. From what I've seen, he's the only one doing this so far. I saw him doing it at MLG, I can't remember who against, but he also did it in his Protoss recently. Coming out in first place, if my memory serves me correctly. Could have been second though. His group was